Hello everyone. Today I'd like to share a few tips about how teachers can create compelling e-content. Now, I have deliberately used the word compelling here. I've not just said engaging or interesting, but it has to be compelling because the power that your content exerts over your audience will keep them interested in whatever you are communicating with them, because you are not physically present in a classroom with your audience. It becomes that much harder to keep them interested, and therefore your content has to be compelling. It's not enough if it's just if I just say that it has to be interesting or it has to be engaging, but it has to be compelling. The biggest challenge that online teaching throws to a teacher is that you have to be really creative about how you teach. It is not just as simple as walking into a class and talking to your students, and your presence is enough. You may not even need to use a blackboard. You may, of course, if you like, use the blackboard, and depending upon what you're teaching, you may even use some audiovisual aids. But I think one of the biggest factors you have to consider is that in online teaching is exemplified by this quote which I came across by Paulo Freire. And he says that I cannot be a teacher without exposing who I am. And so in e-content, even though you may not be on the screen talking to your students, you may be behind the screen, but still who you are as a teacher, that stands out. That will come across very clearly. The clarity with which you understand a concept or your mastery over the subject will come across very clearly. And so that is something that all of us need to be aware of. It is a challenge, yes, but it is a challenge which is for our own self development and growth as teachers. Now, there are a few points I'd like to make before I go ahead with giving you tips on the finer aspects of how you can make your e content compelling. Number one is that in the COVID crisis period, content has emerged to be king. Content is being consumed in large volumes online. So whether it's podcasts, whether it's videos, whether it's a blog, or information which is on a website, that is being consumed by lots of people. It could be your students, it could be professionals who are reskilling and things like that. So content is king, and if you have to function as a teacher in this time, then you have to pay attention to content. And your content has to be unique. Now when I say unique, I know that a lot of what we teach is not our own. Like, you may be teaching a theory or a formula and you have not devised that, but how you present it, what are the little trivia, the little bits of information, the facts and figures, and the manner in which you teach, that is the uniqueness which you bring to your e-content also. Always remember that it is necessary that the content, the e-content that you create, has some value for listeners. They should have at least one or two takeaways from whatever it is that you are conveying to them. So make sure that you're giving them some value, you're giving them something which they didn't know, at least one or two things which they didn't know, or a unique perspective. Then understand your audience. Who's your audience? Who are your students? What is their age group? What is their level of understanding? How would they be studying? What are their preferences? Study your audience a little bit, and that will help you to make better e-content. Understanding their distractions. So if you understand what are their distractions, like a lot of times a student would be compelled to keep looking at his or her phone if it beeps or something like that during the class. So make sure that you give them some instructions, even though you are not there personally to see whether they're following those instructions or not. I'm sure if you request them and they are receptive, they will listen to you and understand that it is for their own good. So give them those instructions that please go put your phone away in another room, or keep it on airplane mode, or do not touch it even if it beeps for as long as this class is going on. Understand what all would be distracting them. Just advise them that they should not be opening any other tab while this is going on, and make sure that they are you drop a line or some instructions regarding the importance of their being fully present at the time, sitting in front of the screen and listening actively to you. Keep it short. I would say keep your e-content short, because the attention span you have to consider of your students, it becomes hard on them, draining to listen to long lectures or talks. So keep it short. If you're making videos and things like that, keep them short. And please invest some time in making e-content. Don't do it in a hurried manner. Prepare well, take your time, recheck your work before you put it out there. The reason being that you're making something which can be used forever, and so that kind of care and consideration has to be extended to that activity or that task. Good teaching is about being a good narrator. You have to be a good storyteller. Now, you may be a teacher of mathematics or science or something like that, and you will wonder that, I'm not a teacher of literature or language, and what have I got to do with stories? But if a teacher becomes a good storyteller, he or she can ensure that people really listen. You can have the attention of your audience, and you will be giving them some little takeaways and creating memorability for that concept. So if you teach management, then using little stories to teach them about, say, if you say, you can use the story of the tortoise and the hare to talk about time management. You can even use that same story to talk about attitude, right? So this is how you can make your talk interesting. So if you're teaching mathematics, you could definitely share a little story about a mathematician or some facts and figures, and how that person came up with that particular theory or formula, and that would be very interesting for your audience. As I mentioned about telling stories, the narrative which you have when you are delivering your talk. When I say story, it need not be always a story like of the tortoise and the hare or something from Arabian Nights. Now, stories can bring information, knowledge, and truth to life. So you can definitely start off. I have a video on an introduction to advertising, which I have begun with Times Square, New York. What are the rates for advertising there? What is the footfall there? How busy that place is, and how it is very sought after for advertisers to go out there and advertise. And so such kind of things, if I would have just begun that talk by saying that today I'm going to talk to you about advertising, and this is the definition and this is the meaning of advertising or something like that, it would not have been that impactful and interesting. But if I start by saying that, hello, I'm so and so, and today I'm going to tell you about the most sought after advertising location in the world, so that would be something interesting. So that's how you have to try to make a good beginning, by focusing on starting your narrative right. Of course, not just starting it, but maintaining that tempo throughout to keep it interesting. If you are making a video or you're making a PowerPoint presentation, then visuals are a big part of the e-content which you should be creating. Ideally, there should be a big part of them. Why? Because as human beings, we are more tuned into visuals. Visuals arouse the interest of your audience. So that is exactly why signs and symbols are used for communication across countries and cultures, because we are more visually tuned in. So try to use appropriate visuals, good visuals. Do take time to look for the right visuals, and there's plenty of sites available where you can get free photographs, free stock photographs, that is, you're not violating any copyrights when you use them. So do take your time to incorporate the visual element and pay due attention to it. When I say visual, I'm not only talking about pictures, I'm talking about the layout of a slide. It should not be text heavy, just have bullet points, pay attention to the size of the font, things like that. When you're recording a video, uh, or you're recording an audio for your presentations, there are certain do's and don'ts which you need to pay attention to. Firstly, I would say avoid any background noises. I have seen videos in which teachers are explaining concepts out in the garden or on the balcony, and there's a whole lot of chirping of the birds in the background, or you have traffic in the background, traffic noises in the background, children speaking, playing, whatever. Those background noises should not be there. Now for that, if you can, or if you have access to noise cancelling headphones or mics, that is very good. But otherwise, I would recommend that you record when at a peaceful hour, when people at home are asleep, early morning, late night, something like that. Try to figure out what works for you, but eliminate all background noises as much as you can. Then your voice. Now, I have found that a lot of people may be camera conscious, so, or they may be very conscious that they are recording, and therefore they are unable to keep their voice natural. Your voice is a tool. When you are making a presentation, your voice is a tool. You can modulate it, you can make things sound very interesting, at the same time you can make them very boring if you do not pay attention to your voice. So make sure that your voice is clear, and that if you like, you can have something warm to drink, like a cup of tea or some warm water before you record, because that will help you to keep your throat clear, hydrated, and that you will be able to speak clearly. Now, don't make your e-content, if you're teaching through even a video or a PowerPoint presentation, don't make it a one-way process, don't make it a monologue. Encourage participation from your audience. Now for that, you may introduce some small activity. So depending on what platform you're using, you could have breakout rooms where you can students can have their own little groups and discussions, or you can use polls or a test or a quiz while you're conducting your session to keep students engaged in. Encourage your students to have a book and a pen and a paper, or pencil, and to write while you are making a presentation, because that will help them to remember better. So encourage them to write, encourage them to think, ask for their views and things like that. Make use of the chat box, or you can allow them to unmute, and or give them a task so that next time you meet, that they will come up with their points on a certain thing, or their thoughts on a certain topic. So encourage that, so that it becomes something where they really have to pay attention. Otherwise, there's no real reason. Even if the student opens a link and goes off somewhere, you will never come to know, because you're not encouraging him or her to participate in the process, in the teaching learning process. So try to incorporate that. I hope all teachers carry away at least one or two little things which will help them to create compelling e-content, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors. In case you have any queries, please do not hesitate to email me. My email ID is on the slide. Thank you.